Apparently, I mean, the same person who told me that Bailly and Mbola are done deals has also just messaged me this afternoon to say Adam Younis is a done deal as well. But I don't know much. I know a little bit about him, but I don't know whether it's a done deal yet. But we'll go live. Hello and welcome to the United Stand special show. Got Joey with me tonight, which we'll go to in a minute. Slight audio problems, but this shouldn't cause you a problem for all. Evening, Jim Keogh. As promised on the show this morning, this will be quite interactive with you in relation to this £200 million transfer budget that Jose Mourinho is meant to have. United Stand, we don't do clickbait, we don't do fake things, as viewers will know. We're all about realism, which is why I've got Joey on the show. He keeps it real. I'm going to keep it real. Your comments are going to keep it real. But it's definitely going to be all about what you think. Mourinho does have a lot of money to spend, but it's also about net spend, like we mentioned last year, and who's going to go, who's not going to go. Got a few questions for you. I'm going to get Joey involved in this as well. But first of all, I've got a massive list of players. Joey's going to throw some values, but my values are the ones that count for any of you out there, and you're all getting involved already. But however, I said it was going to be interactive. We're going to try and get it a little bit more interactive on the United Stand videos from now on. First question is, do you buy, and I'm going to go to Joey on this and throw it to you one. There's about 4 or 5 questions for all the viewers throughout this show, and we will be done by 8 o'clock. Don't worry, Mbola is playing for Switzerland. I want to watch that. First question is, you've already spent 30 million, no matter whatever you're thinking about selling or buying, and the same goes for Joey. You've already spent 30 million because Bailly's been bought, so that's 30 million gone straight away. Centre-back wise, I'll put this to the viewers. This is the first of your 5 questions. Centre-back wise, are you buying another centre-back, or are you going to keep Smalling, Bailly, Jones, Rojo, Blind as your centre-backs? I'll go to you, Joey, see what you think.
Absolutely, I'm buying another one. I think the other ones have shown in Rojo and in Jones that, 1, they can't stay healthy, especially in Phil Jones's case, and 2, they're just too inconsistent. When Phil Jones does get a good run of games, him and Smalling have an incredible record, but, I mean, he missed, 70-80% of last season, so I'm absolutely buying another one. I have my idea for who I want. Actually, I have 2 options, and I'll wait for you to comment, but absolutely I'm buying a center back. Because we all know with Jose, it's going to start in the back with a rock-solid foundation. Last year under LVG, we had to play 2 defensive midfielders because we had Blind back there, who's not the most imposing physically, and the build-up play. I think our defensive record last year was really skewed by the fact that we played 2 defensive midfielders, and I really don't think we're that good defending with what we currently had, especially with Luke Shaw out.
Okay, so Joey said there he would go for a centre-back. We'll find out who very shortly. I'm going to go to your live comments. If you're just joining the show, you've got 200 million to spend. We want to know who you're going to spend, who you're going to spend it on. Realistically, please. We're not one of these clickbait channels who you say Pogba, Ronaldo, and everybody else like that. We want realism, and I know we'll get that from you lot because I trust you all. But there are 5 questions as we go through this show. The first one is, are you buying a centre back? Let's have a look at some of your comments because there was some saying no centre back. Blind looks like he's going to be leaving, so we need to fill the gap, says Extreme Gamer Boy. Bailly is better than Stones, says John Detilda. Who cares about prices, Ross Harrington? We do, and a lot of people are watching this show. If you want to go and watch Coronation Street, off you go, Ross. Carrick Fan says, I'd sign another defender because Jones can't stay for more than 2 years. Dre Classius did send me his list before. He's gone with John Stones. I'm going to go and get Joey's now. But personally, I would buy Manolas. I've already said that before. That's £30 million to go with Bailly, Smalling, the youth that are coming through, and I would sell Phil Jones and I would sell Rojo. But to be honest, I reckon you'd only get 10 million for Rojo, 10 million for Jones. So that's 20 million. But yeah, I would definitely go with Bailly. I don't know what you think, Joe.
So I'm with you on selling Rojo. I didn't have a price for him, so 10 million sounds good because I think we bought him for 18, I think, and somewhere in there. Rojo, I agree, sold. Just too inconsistent for me, and plus in my team he doesn't get in. I've gone with Rafael Varane. I know it's kind of a long shot with Real Madrid, and there has to be some pieces to fall. The dominoes have to fall because I have another Madrid player later in my team. But we were talking about Bonucci. I mean, me and you have been on him for months and months, and I mean, he would be the ideal signing to play next to Smalling while Eric Bailly progresses because he's still raw, and he's still raw. So the thing with Bonucci is he's not leaving Juventus. He's winning league titles there, no problem. They're probably going to be a lot better next year with Pjanic coming in the midfield. And 50 million pounds is a lot for a 29-year-old defender. who has some miles on the legs. Don't get me wrong, I would love him. But I went with Varane because he's young, he's strong, he's quick, he knows Jose Mourinho, he gets on with him. And I have him valued around 35 to 40 million pounds, which I think is about right.
No, I do agree with Joey on that one. Yeah, I do agree with Joey about £40 million for Varane. I also agree with Bonucci. We spoke about him in January, I think, and both big fans of him. And I like Juventus, and I think Joey does as well. Never going to happen. It's a graveyard, the Premier League for Italian defenders. It'd be stupid to come here, and it just won't happen. That sort of player just doesn't leave Juventus to come to the Premier League. No, not at all going to happen. So I'd go for Manolas. Joey would go for Varane. We'd both get another centre-back in. I'm confident we will get another centre-back in. And that roughly takes both our spending, when you take the 30 million with Bailly, up to around the 70 million mark. However, I think we both get rid of Rojo and Jones, which would knock us down to 50 million, because I think you get 10 million each for those. Some of you keep buying a centre-back, so hold on to that thought, because you're going to have a little bit of money to spend elsewhere. So, not saying it's right or wrong. But next question for you, question 2. We're moving into the midfield now. Centre midfield. You've got Carrick, who's definitely staying. You've got Schweinsteiger, question mark. You've got Herrera. You've got Schneiderlin. Fosu Mensah potentially. You've got there's more, isn't there? I've said Herrera, but you've got a few players there that you've got to think about. Are you going to keep all of those and then add the likes of a Gomez, a Cruz, a Pogba in there? Because you've got to get rid of somebody, is my point. So that's my next question to the viewers: is in that midfield you've got Herrera, Carrick, Schweinsteiger, Schneiderlin, 4 centre midfielders there, plus the likes of Fosu Mensah, Fellaini. Who are you getting rid of? Because I think if you've got 6 players in that position and you want to bring another one in, you're probably going to have to get rid of 1 or 2.
So I'm probably going to make an unpopular choice here with a lot of the fans, because I know he's popular. But for me, Ander Herrera is getting sold. In my opinion, that's what I would do. It's the right thing to do. He's too inconsistent. You don't know if he's a center mid or a number 10. He's not strong enough. He's not the best tackler this is also my opinion. You completely disagree, but I just think that there's better options there. So I've sold Herrera. I've sold Fellaini. I figure about 25 million for both of them, because I see Fellaini going to Italy, because I know some teams have been interested in him. Napoli, Lazio. He would fit in probably really well in Italy. So I wish him nothing but the best. But I have, in my ideal team, I have 5 midfielders to split 2 spots. So, and you have to keep experience in there, and injuries are going to happen. I think that's important. And also, one criticism I have of Jose Mourinho over the years is that he's not rotated his teams enough. Like, you look at that Chelsea team that won the league, they kind of sputtered at the end, and I think that was from lack of rotation. So I think he's going to learn from that, and I think that he will, keep an abundant number of people in the midfield, because I think that's crucial. That's the engine room. You mentioned Fosu Mensah. He slots in at fullback for me, whether it's starting or back up on the right. He can slot in along the back line anywhere, to be honest. So he's a great player to keep around in terms of the back line. But yeah, I sold Herrera. I know that's probably not popular with some people, but I'm a ruthless guy.
Yeah, no, I don't think many people disagree with you. Tom Brown, Sal, Fellaini, Mata and Herrera. Mata must say, says Jamie. Sorry, but goodbye Herrera and Fellaini, says Jack Field. There was something there. God, most winners don't rotate. Neymar, are you for real? There was something in there that I really wanted to see. Live comments is flashing, Mark. It's done this before. Bear with us. I'm trying to fix it, but we are live, and I'll certainly fix it for future shows. It pisses me off as much as it's pissing you lot off. But yeah, well, I want to go back to Joey and see what players he'd bring in. Comment in and tell us what players you would bring in. I certainly think we are being realistic, and thanks for everybody on the comments. You are being fantastic. That first question was about a centre-back and whether you would buy another one, because you're going to have to get rid of 2. I got rid of Rojo and Jones, as did Joey. Moving into the midfield, it's all right saying you want Gomez, or you want Pogba, or you want Cruz, or you want even Kante. You've got to get rid of 2, I think, because I think we're overrunning the centre midfield positions. Personally, Mata goes. Whether you can count him as a centre midfielder or not, I don't know. Mata goes, and I would get rid of Herrera, and that hurts. It really hurts. But we've got to get rid of somebody if you're going to buy people in the centre midfield. That is a big if, because you could just think these players have been suppressed by Louis van Gaal. Let's give them all a chance. But I think if you're going to buy somebody, you've got to get rid of one of Schweinsteiger, Schneiderlin, Carrick or Herrera. And I mean that, whether you're going to bring Kante in or Gomez or Pogba or whoever, you're going to have to get rid of one of those four. And that's why we do these things on the United Stand, because you've got to be realistic about it. Who did you go for, Joey, to bring in?
So we're going to count Mata in the 10 role then. We're going to, there's still players up the pitch and out wide that we're going to talk about, I'm sure. So I'm bringing in, this also has to be a domino, though. Like I said, I expect Paul Pogba to sign for Real Madrid this summer. I expect them to break the bank, maybe make him the world's most expensive player. I think that's something that would appeal to him, and I really see him going there. So if that happens, then you're going to have, Pogba, Modric, Kroos, Kovacic, I think, too, Casemiro. So I can see Toni Kroos moving on, and that's the player I would go after. When I heard the news that Louis van Gaal turned that deal down, I thought, Jesus, what's this guy doing? This guy's probably the best midfielder, one of the best midfielders in Europe, in the world. Box to box. I mean, his passing, he can pick any pass, probably blindfolded. Kind of like that Paul Scholes range of passing, and he just dictates the style and dictates the play. He's perfect for me. I'm bringing him in. I value him probably around 25 to 30 million. They might ask for more because of the sale. They're going to be spending quite a bit on Pogba, but they didn't pay much for him. I think Bayern Munich were lenient in that sale. And I've also gone for Andre Gomes. I said I kept 5 midfielders, and it was Schneiderlin, Schweinsteiger, Carrick, Kroos, and Gomes. You have 5 players to rotate in those 2 positions, whether you do or don't. I expect Carrick not to play much. I expect Schweinsteiger to be there more for mental, for the leadership thing. But that being said, I could see Schweinsteiger leaving. But the thing with Gomes is, I mean, he's 6'2". He's 183 pounds. I don't know what that is in terms of how that goes to stones, but he's a big guy. He's physical. He can play out wide too. He can play in the attacking midfield. He's versatile, and I think he's an upgrade on Ander Herrera in my opinion. So you bring in those 2, and you really make that midfield something special.
Yeah, I think Kroos is a good one. I'm not keeping Fellaini, Dave Lyons. Well spotted. I am not keeping Fellaini. He was getting a stay of execution there, Dave, and I'm glad you've reminded me. I sort of was thinking about it when Joey said it as well. Fellaini I think, it's important to think about what we'd get, because I think net spend is important. We talk £200 million, and we are a realistic channel, and we do have realistic viewers, and you're all fantastic because of that realism. We won't spend £200 million, and it'll be a net. It'll be around 100 to 150, I think. So what we bring in is important. So me and Joe have brought 20 in off Rojo and Jones. I think Fellaini, you get around 15 million, and I think Herrera probably 20 million. Would you agree with that, Joey?
Because I think we bought him for about 27. It all depends on the buyer, to be honest. You can see him going back to Spain. Zaragoza, Atletico Bilbao, maybe even one of the bigger clubs in Spain. Or you could see him going, maybe to Italy. But yeah, somebody will pay that. I think they will. There's a team in Germany who just came across a bunch of money, and they're buying all the talent around. So they're the new PSG. You never know. But yeah, I agree. 15 to 20 for him.
Yeah, and I do like, and Krishna said it, and somebody else said it, Eric Dyer. I do like that, but it's not going to happen because he's got Champions League football. He's at Spurs. It's not going to happen. Same as whether people wanted Harry Kane or not going to happen. My midfielder, I sort of thought it through a little bit, and I went with Andre Gomez, who's going to cost around, I've put 35 million based on the fact that Chelsea have had a 32 million thing done, and I'm sure his release clause is somewhere around 35 million. Plus you've got George Mendes as the agent. So I think the great thing about Gomez is he's 22, he's 6'2", he's got all the attributes, he showed it in the Euros. I'd bring him in. Fellaini and Herrera goes out, which I think is much the same as Joey anyway, but you can pull me up in that in a minute because we've got to start moving a little bit because I'm aware of the 8 o'clock thing. Right, we're moving into the attacking midfield positions. Now, for those people at home, the third question basically is, you've already got Januzaj, Pereira, Memphis, Martial, Lingard, Valencia, Ashley Young, Mata. You've got 8 players currently, and Rooney, for 3 attacking midfield positions. The central one, the sort of number 10, the right and the left. So we've got 9 players there, and I've probably missed somebody out. If you are wanting to buy 1 or 2 in that position, you are going to have to get rid of at least 2 or 3. I'll go to Joey, see what he thinks on that.
I really cleared out. I got rid of some older players in Young and Valencia. I was thinking of keeping Valencia for depth at the right back position, but But with Fosu Mensah, Darmian, even I think Bailey can play there. I just don't think he's needed. So I moved on those two. I think about 5 million each for both Young and Valencia. I moved Mata along for 20 to 23 million. I sold Januzaj as well because I'm just not, his attitude is always going to be there for me. I'm not into third and fourth chances. And I think there's upgrades. We're talking about building a dynasty here. We're not talking about, it's just, it's frustrating. But going back, I also sold Varela and McNair. So I know that's probably not a lot of money. But, yeah, I've sold them, all those players. I'm keeping Lingard for depth because I think that he can fill in a few positions. He might be further down my pecking order, but those are the players I went for. So I got 10 for Januzaj, 5 for Valencia, 5 for Young, and 20 for Mata.
Okay, and who were the players you brought in?
Okay, so we're gonna go with Mkhitaryan because I think he's just an absolute perfect fit for United. He had 11 goals and 20 assists in 31 Bundesliga games. There's been a talk about Willian maybe, and I mean Chelsea are just going to take us to town, take us to the bank with that one, and I can't see us, really prizing him away. He can play in any 3 positions behind the striker. He's got pace. For me, he's just a perfect signing. And he wants to leave, and he wants to come here, and I think that's important. So I valued him at 31 million. And to be honest, then I went with a player that can play on the right. He can play on the left, but he's more of a secondary striker. I went with Griezmann. That was my main big buy, and I had him valued for around 60 million.
Okay. Not dissimilar. I'm going to go to the comments because people are talking about Leroy Sané, heavily linked with City, as Nitin says. I think he is going to go to City. I haven't considered him at all. Players I considered as a right midfielder. I'm not bothered about a left midfielder. I'm happy for Memphis to have another go. I couldn't even find a value for Memphis because we've only had him a year. He's done absolutely nothing. I can't see him being sold. I really can't see Memphis going. I think he will be given a chance. Obviously, you keep Martial. Obviously, you keep Rooney. Obviously, you keep Lingard because he's a squad player. Mata goes. I think Mata will probably get around 20 million for him. Januzaj, I haven't got a clue. I'd go with what Joey said there. And I think you've got to get rid of either Ashley Young, Valencia, or both of them. But the one player, I was only ever going to bring one player in that position, and that was going to be a sort of right midfielder. If they can play number 10, even better. And the Griezmann was the one I went for. As Ishmael says there, Griezmann is a must. He's the one player I want to sign this summer. You can mention Neymar, you can mention Pogba. He's the one player I want to sign. And I put him in at around £60 million because essentially that is how much I think he will cost. I think he's got a buyout clause of 54 million. He's not signed a new contract yet. It will go up if he does sign it. Some people are saying he has signed it. He hasn't. Hashim's going Hervin Lozano, masses of question marks. Do like him. We've done a video on him. He's got all the natural attributes, but he's more of a risk than Griezmann. Lucas Moura, MA7 _ football, saying Lucas Moura. I worry about his attitude. I worry about him and whether he can last it in the Premier League. It's hard to say from PSG. But I suppose the big thing is Mkhitaryan, Joey, has been mentioned. His agent's pushing this move. Never thought he was going to come to United at all. And it's only because his agent sort of brought it up. Looked at him, know a little bit about him. I remember him nearly going to Liverpool before he went to Dortmund about a year or two ago. He's only really come to the fore because of his agent. Would cost about £30 million. Not really for me. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I completely disagree because he is for me. Like I said, the stats. I know it's people don't like statistics, but 11 goals and 20 assists in 31 Bundesliga games. I understand he has Aubameyang in front of him, and maybe not the Bundesliga. People have different opinions on that, but he can play in the number 10. He can play on the left. He can play on the right. He'll track back. He's got tons of pace. And more importantly, like I said, he wants to come here. I know that, and Arsenal want him, so it'd be even better to pull one over on them after they got turned down by Jamie Vardy. So yeah, I mean, but there's options there. You mentioned Leroy Sané. Well, I think he's going to City. Griezmann can play on the right. There's options in there. But for me and the team I went for, I need a bit of pace on that wing, and I need Mkhitaryan in there to create because I like to have one of my wingers like Martial, who's more of a goal threat, and then I have my other winger creating more. So, and he'll help out Darmian. I think that's another important aspect of it is that you're not going to get a lot of offense out of Darmian, so you need something coming down that right side. But with Griezmann, I know we're talking about Mkhitaryan, but with Griezmann, I just think he is tailor-made. He's, he's got that star quality. He's still got plenty of room to grow. I think he can get better, and I think that's the consensus around Europe. And also, he loves David Beckham, so he's perfect for me.
Hashim said, have you forgotten that Valencia is a right winger? I think Valencia himself has forgotten he's a right winger. And Krishna also said, thoughts on Roos, Marco Roos. I think he's too injury prone. I think he's out for a long while, so you've got to be realistic and not that realistic. Next question, then, we got the talked about the attack. Now I want to talk about the attacking position, because you always look realistic. It comes down to this. Mbolo is signing. I said that a week ago, he was signing. I've also said that Zlatan will sign, but it really does come down to this. If you are, Neymar's on the picture. If you are thinking about Neymar for 140 million, or you are thinking about Morata, or you are thinking about somebody else, apparently people can't hear me now, which is absolutely fantastic. Audio problem.
Can they hear me?
Sound gone, Mark. Right, you should be able to hear me. Can you hear me now? Sounds better now. Yeah. So the comments, some people saying yes, some people no. It is fine. Yeah, so you basically got to make a choice. Are you going to go for Zlatan, or are you going to move into the areas of Neymar, Morata, Aubameyang, even the likes of Benzema, I suppose? I'll throw that to you, Joey, because I think I know where I stand on it, but it's also a question again.
So I would love, to sign a striker, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think with Zlatan, Rashford, you still got players like Martial that can fill in there. Rooney can fill in there. I'm not saying I want Rooney probably the furthest down the pecking order to be a striker, but I think with Zlatan coming in, I think you can get enough goals out of your number 10, possibly in Griezmann, and Griezmann can play there. So there's options, and I could see him signing a striker. It's not going to be Neymar. That's just unheard of. I think he's just drumming up interest in a new contract, even though he probably just signed a new one. It seems like that's what players do when they want some more money, especially when they need to pay the tax man. But yeah, Benzema would be a great signing, though. Don't get me wrong. I think Benzema would be tailor-made for the Premier League. Knows Mourinho. He's a target man. Alex has mentioned that a few times, that we're probably not going to sign a striker like Aubameyang or something along those lines, because Jose likes his big target men. So I didn't bring a striker in because I'm signing Zlatan for free.
Sorry, I was just messing about with the audio there. It is sorted now. So yeah, Mbolo signing, I've already released that will happen. And Zlatan for me is enough. But that was the question I didn't say to before I went to Joey. You've had 4 questions tonight. You've had, are you going to buy another centre-back? You've had, who are you going to get rid of? Because we've already got 4 centre midfielders. If you're buying another one, you're going to have to get rid of at least Herrera, Schneidlin, Schweinsteiger or Carrick. One of that 4, because I assume you're all going to sell Fellaini. Into the number 10 and attacking positions, you've got about 9 players currently there. You've got to get rid of at least 2, 3 if you want to bring 2 more in. And up front, if you're going to have Zlatan, we're not going to buy another centre forward, because we've already got Mbolo, Rashford, Martial will be on the left. I'm happy for him to have a bit more development there. I'm the same as Joey. It's Zlatan for me, and obviously Mbolo, another young talent who can play right midfield, left midfield, and learn like Rashford will from Zlatan. But if you're going to go for Neymar, you're going to go for Morata or everything like that, that's the question. It must be a no to Zlatan. So very quickly, I'm just going to summarise, because what I want you to do is, if you're not watching live, I'm going to put questions up in the top corner, polls where you can answer these questions I've been asking. If you are watching live, come back to the video and write in below. I've got a prize to give away. It's a very good prize, but I'm not going to tell you what it is, because that will motivate you even more. I just want you to comment in the comment section below. You've got £200 million to spend. What players you bring in, what players you'd sell, values. I'm going to read every single comment over the next few days, and I'm going to tell you whether your values are right or wrong. And whoever comes out with the most realistic and best answer we like, you will win the prize. Just to help you out a bit, I'm going to give Joey a moment while I go through mine. My ins and outs were Manolas in for £30 million, Zlatan for free, I was going to go Mkhitaryan, but I went Griezmann for 60 million, and Bolo is going to sign 30 million, and Gomez 35 million. That's 185 million plus the 30 for Bailly, so that's 115 million pounds. But then I made 45 million to knock it down to 170 million by selling Mata for 20, Rojo for 10, Fellaini for 15, and Jones for 10. So around 170 million pounds was what I spend. Over to you, Joey.
All right, so I bought Mkhitaryan for 31 million. I bought Toni Kroos for about 30 million. Rafael Varane I have at 35. Griezmann for 60. And I had Andre Gomes as well. I don't know what that comes out to because my calculator messed up. But on my outs, I had Mata for 20, Ashley Young for 5 million, Fellaini for 10 million, Valencia for 5 million, Rojo for 10 million, McNair for 2 million, Varela for 2 million, Herrera 15 to 20 million, and Januzaj for 10 million.
Cheers, Joey. I appreciate we are getting 4 minutes to kick off the France v Switzerland game. I do want to watch Mbolo as well. But so thanks to everybody for watching the show. Please like the video. Please subscribe. Please keep getting involved. And do comment below. This show has all been about how you'd spend the money, who you'd get rid of. I will reply to all the comments. It might take me a couple of days, but I will do that. And I just want to say tomorrow, back into the Euros. I know you're going to be rushing off to watch our next new signing, Mbolo. Do watch him. I think he's very raw, but I think Mourinho likes him because he's not Lukaku with a touch like a brick wall and takes 10 yards to get running fast. He's a potential Drogba. Do watch him. And also live straight after the England game tomorrow, so about 10 o'clock UK time, I'll be reacting to the England game like I did the other night. I probably will have had a few beers again, so join me for that. But I was going to let Joey speak because we've had problems with the Odo. Just to wrap up.
Yeah, so thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and keep informed because there's going to be lots of transfer videos coming out, I'm sure. You know, players are coming thick and fast. The rumor mill is spinning, and as well, some great knockout stage games coming as well. So keep your eye out on some United targets on who you'd want to sign. Let us know in the comments. Thanks.
That's a good point, actually. I think Joey's going to do a video for us this week on Toni Kroos. Certainly going to get Joey more involved in it. Nice to have him back. And I think, as I've said before, we're lucky we've got the Euros in a way because it sort of keeps us watching football. But I think as soon as July is going to be huge. It's going to be absolutely huge. It's going to be real signings happening, real signings going out the door. We're still waiting on what's happening with gigs. But yeah, join me tomorrow night at 10 o'clock and we will keep doing new videos like this. We've sort of mixed up the studio a bit. Tell us what you think. I know we've had problems with the live comments and the audio, but I will sort that out for next time. Bit of a rush because it's normally at 9 o'clock, but we thought we'd do something for you. Thanks everybody for watching. Speak to you all later. If you like the video, if you like this style of video, do drop us a like and get involved and keep spreading the word about the United stand. Really enjoyed that and thanks everybody for watching.